Hi everybody, I want to show you a new track that I did for a demo. This is a demo for Pulsor II, which is a library that we released for Sierra 2, and it's mostly a Pulse library. It's oriented for film scoring and composing. So it has a lot of different pulses, pads, and stuff that you would use for hybrid music. So let's play the whole thing first, and then we can talk a little bit about maybe how I use some of the pulses, some of the sounds from Pulsar, and also whatever we might find interesting about the music. Okay, so that's the track. So the whole thing was trying to show people that might be interested on Pulsar how you would use it in real life, right? So I'm kind of thinking that I'm composing a main title, like a science fiction show main title. I have a theme, I have the whole orchestral stuff going on, but I'm obviously very focused on using a lot of the Pulsar sounds. So all the instrumentation here is just basically standard orchestra, and the only scenes that you hear are played by Pulsar, so people can really tell the difference when they're hearing a synth or an orchestra. So they want to hear the library, of course. So first thing we hear here is this motif. Right, so this is played by this particular Pulse Martian percussion harp. Thing is playing. So right away we have this particular scale and mood, right, playing. So it already sounds worthy, kind of sounds mysterious, right? And since we're using a lot of scenes, it starts sounding a lot of sci-fi right away. And then we get the piano, and we hear this melody. This is a theme, and again it's in a very particular scale. So let's talk about the scale, because I think it's important. You know, most of the track is just this section here repeating and repeating and just building up. So most of the stuff is happening on the orchestration really. The melody and the harmony, it kind of stays fixed. It keeps modulating, but you'll see its whole patterns. So let's play the piano, let's play the scale and the theme. So this is the theme, right? So that's pretty much it. So what you're hearing this particular scale, right? It's a very cool mood. It's a very sci-fi kind of vibe. I think John Williams uses it on Star Wars a lot. Like when you hear the harps, right here, you hear this kind of sound. So it's that kind of same scale. So this particular scale, I don't know, you can explain it in many different ways. I don't want to get too deep on that because I don't really think about scales when I'm composing. I'm just thinking about relationships and the feel that some of the dissonance can cause on some of the relationship between the intervals, right? But if if we analyze this, you could call it a few different ways. You could call it mixolydian scale with a flat 6, right? If you play G mixolydian, you get this. G mixolydian is basically the G major scale with a flat 7. But if we alter the 6 and we made it a flat 6, we get this. So it's a cool mood, right? It's almost like a major scale, and then a minor scale on top. So it's like a major minor kind of thing. That's another way to explain it, by the way. You can also see it as a melodic scale, like one mode of the melodic minor scale. Like if you think you're in C melodic minor, right? It's the same notes. We just starting here. But in general, I don't like to think in scales. Like I say, I think more. You can think that each mode or each scale that you're playing is gonna have a couple of notes. Usually just one note is enough to distinguish the mode that you are in, and it's gonna be the kind of the characteristic note that is gonna give you that particular feel. So in the case of a mixolydian, is this note here, the F. In the case of the G mixolydian, the flat 7. So if I only play this and do a little improvisation around this, so it already feels like a mixolydian. Same thing with Lydian. If we play C major Lydian, right? F sharp is a note. So if I just play this bass here, that's it. This note is the characteristic note of this particular mode. So it happens the same. I think jazz players use that a lot when they wanna sound that they wanna play it in a particular mode, and you wanna sound like you're in a particular mode. That's one way of thinking it, I guess. So same thing here. When you're playing, you don't need to think about the scale. You need to think about those notes and what feeling they create. And right here, it works pretty well with sci-fi. So this is what I had. I got this harmony, that melody, right? And then if I forward a little bit, you'll see how I jump. To C, and it's the same thing. I'll talk about the orchestration and everything that's going on in a bit, but the harmony and the whole pattern is kind of the same, repeating all around. It's just modulating in fifth, right? We have this pattern here, then we go down a fifth, then we are in G. have the same thing, same melody, a couple of variations, and then again, if you fast forward, I'll play that in a bit. You go down and you go down to F, same thing. But everything is a build up. It keeps building up, building up, building up, and then you'll see how it resolves. I'll get there in a few. So basically, the whole thing is a variation on that theme or that that pattern that we get from the beginning. That's what the interesting stuff, I guess, is happening. So there's a lot of colors, a lot of stuff happening on orchestration just to keep the piece interesting and keep the build up mood going on. So we start very subtle, then we get strings doing a little bit of beats and percussive stuff. So if I just mute the strings, this is what you hear. Yeah, it's a nice cool mood. Then let's play the whole strings. And then same thing, it just keep building up. Then we play this. So we got those fast ostinatos going on. Let me play these here, which are the low spiccato string, the cellos and violas. These are the violas playing by themselves. Oh, I just discovered a shortcut that I need to know. Okay. So it's playing that little pattern here, similar to this one. They're kind of interlocking a little bit, so it sounds more realistic. And then we get a little more crescendo. Let me keep playing the strings. I think one of the stuff here, interesting stuff, is going on the strings right now. We have a little bit of fast violin playing. So the way you get all that movement is just doing different patterns that kind of interlock in together in different ways. So we have the violins playing this, just repeating notes, but that's playing together with this pattern here, the cello. So we start playing. Then we add the violas playing another pattern. Actually, I can hear the violas. Yeah, they're there. Very subtle. So right here, I think we got the violins too playing also. Right here. So that's how we create all that movement. I think everything's done by the strings and some of the pulses. See? Yeah, that's pretty much it. The rest is being created by Pulsar. All that movement is just pulses going on top of the strings. Too low. So the melody is being doubled by this lunar pulsing and this pad and this percussion little sound here, the alien perc pulse. A little bit of syncopation there. You can see that the piano is rendered. There's an audio track here. That's just the piano rendered to audio or bounce, whatever. The reason is because piano it can be tricky to mix with synths and even though just a regular MIDI orchestral markup. So I like to have it on audio so I can EQ it better. So I'm probably doing some stuff here with the EQ. Let me see. Yeah, so if you check the piano, it's a little bit of compression going on, and I did a little bit of I use Clariphonic, which is a nice plugin to help with the high end. So that's what is going on here. Let's keep going. Some more elements playing, kind of the same. It's a little bit of dissonance here in the strings that is kind of interesting. So you see, it's just notes that are pretty close together. Again, it keeps changing. I can't keep playing the same pattern. I have to change it, right? So it sounds interesting, and I keep the movement sense, the sense of movement, and also the building up, which is basically what this piece is. It's a big build up. We still have these same pulses playing and together. I guess a little bit bigger. So this is what the pulses are playing here. There's a little bit of tension notes here that kind of make the chord a little bit more interesting, right? Besides this, I think we have some brasses helping. The strings still building up. So the cool thing about this kind of harmony is that you can play a lot with the strings, because it's kind of repeating. So I can change every time we have a different section. I can change the pattern, and we have the harmony, which is what is tying everything together. So it's, you know, it's a nice way to keep changing and doing variations. Okay, so we have the strings keeping up with the build up. Helping here, percussion playing, the big string melody. Let's see who's playing that melody. That thing we have the Adagio violins playing that melody here. I think it's maybe double, but no, it's just that. Nothing special, just a simple. Keeps building up. Okay, so what happens here is instead of modulating again, now we keep the same pattern. But now we have this ascending bass that's gonna add to the build up. We have this thing going on, right? So instead of doing the obvious thing that we're gonna be going to here, I just go like this. Then we do the third on the bass. So we keep coming up. That adds some tension, right? And then, so basically we resolve here. We're in G flat, you want to call it. We stay there for a while. big melody playing, a variation of them, and revisit the whole thing. Now we play with this sequence. Very standard. You know, if you think you're in B flat, this would be flat 6 and 1, right? Typical sequence. So we started for a while. You know, we established the harmony, we established the melody, we established a lot of things. So we can play now around with in a different context, in a different harmony, which is very simple and very familiar. So another softer section here. The stuff in Pulsar is featured. You can hear some of the subtle pulses. More here. This little thing is a tiny radar that sounds like a little. We have some choirs playing right now. Same thing, just keep building up. Strings helping a little bit of staccato. Very subtle, like if you mute it, it sounds like it's a lot of stuff, but everything is very, very subtle. And then last modulation, basically we play this sequence. But it's more interesting because we kind of playing with the bass a little bit. So we do this, and then you know, we do the C bass. We keep going up again, up, and we end here, I think. So very flat. But we still have the horns playing the flat 6, right? Then we feature Pulsar a little bit more. All this is Pulsar. And that's it. So it's actually a pretty simple piece. Is I think what might make it interesting is that first, you know, the harmony it has a very cool mood, and the you know, the fact that we have this sequence that keeps repeating let us play a lot with orchestration. We can mess a lot of the stuff around and you know, change pattern every few bars. So it's very colorful that way, even though we're just using mostly strings and brass. I don't think I even use woodwinds here. Let's see. No, a little bit, a couple of notes, just a couple of tries, not even. Yeah, so I think I just double the melody at the end, but that's it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So what else? I think we talk about everything. Yeah, you know, Pulsar. In this case, I think it acts in two different ways. You know, first we have all this subtle stuff that happens on the small moments. And then when we have the big build up, like around here, I use a lot of the more aggressive sounds. Right, so they can make the piece a little bit punchier. And then we have this big razors here. And then we have this kind of percussive thing. Makes the whole thing a little more fast. better and more rhythm to it, more bottom. And then we go back to the subtle stuff. So that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I think my next podcast, my next video cast is gonna be about one of the tracks that I did for the Yu-Gi-Oh movie. It's gonna be an action cue, so it should be pretty interesting. Those are pretty tough to compose. So see you later. Thank you.